welcome to this video. It is a Sunday and it's like midday. I wasn't really sure what to do for this video, but I think what we're gonna do is just do some drawing outside. I might stay in the car for the first few sketches. It's not really a nice day here, but I'm trying to get into the way of going outside when it's not the nicest, because there's still inspiration to be found. I'm thinking to do that, do a couple sketches here, and then we'll maybe go on a little adventure, see what we can find to draw, and then we'll kind of just see where this video comes. But I guess it's kind of just taking you through my little Sunday afternoon. So yeah, let's get drawing. So I've done this one, which is looking over there. I've drawn a couple of little houses. I've got the stone wall here. Yeah, decent little warm up. And then this is more of this view. Now I think I'm gonna go outside and brave the wind. I mean, it's not raining right now, so it's not too bad. We are back in the car. It's cold outside. It is very, very cold. I went to a few little places, just a very short walk around this area, and I got down some scribbles. I'm not sure if anything's like, you know, blown me away, but no, I've gotten down a few good notes. I love when the rain starts coming down, and you get all these like blurry marks. I've not got much charge on the phone, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go over to one other bit of like this village, and then I'm gonna go home, I think. Okay, we are back in the car. It's so cold outside, very windy, very wild, but it's really interesting to come down here because there are so many parts of Shetland that like I just don't ever come to. And I'm in Sandwick right now, which is about like a 15-minute drive from my house, and it's like where I went to school for half of my school years. But there's so many little parts of even like this village that I've never really explored, and just coming around here, I think because I've been sketching, like my eyes are tuned into like interesting bits of colour and textures, and there's so many things like old sheds here that have like really interesting like rust and like decay to them that I'd love to paint. There's just a lot of inspiration, and I feel like I'm really excited in this kind of stage of my practice at the moment, because I just feel like I'm on like the very start of it in some ways. Like I feel like I've really settled into the fact that I like to paint landscapes and I like to be inspired by where I am, and I feel like the more I settle into that, I'm just intrigued to see where like my paintings go, because I definitely want to like incorporate more sort of buildings, like man-made things into it, just when there's interesting textures and bits of colour that break up the landscape. I'm just really fascinated by that. Anyway, that was a bit rambly, but I definitely want to come back to here and like paint. I like see in the summer, I really hope I kind of get a good setup for painting like outside, so like plein air painting, because I think that could be really fun. And there's this amazing shed I just like drove past, which is like emerald green, but it's kind of like rusting. I was just like, that is bloody stunning. I want to like be able to set up in the field behind it so I can paint it, and then like the landscape behind. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. I'm just very excited to see like where my practice kind of starts to develop in these next few months, because yeah, as I said, I feel like I'm just settled into the fact that I like to paint landscapes and the things around me, and there's so much inspiration to be found, and I feel like I've only ever seen a very small percentage of Shetland, so I don't know, I feel like the more I make this a practice of like going out and sketching, just the more there's gonna be to discover. So exciting things. The sun is kind of coming out, but I'm gonna drive home and maybe get something warm to drink, warm my hands up, and then I think I'll do some painting, maybe inspired from some of the sketches I've done today. We'll see, but I hope you enjoyed that little adventure, and yeah, let's go home. I am back inside, and I've got a warm coffee to heat myself back up, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'll quickly show you what I did sketch on my little walks, and then I'm gonna work from those sketches into this other sketchbook, just I guess elaborating on the sketches I've done but with paint, and yeah, just have a bit of a play about. I think that's what I'm feeling. So yeah, let me show you what I did draw on my walk. Okay, so let me just go through some of the sketches that we did this afternoon. So we started off here. This is the first sketch, which I actually really like. I like this wall coming in, and then kind of getting some notes about the houses in that area. It's definitely something that I'm kind of paying attention to more and more. Yeah, so this is when I'm in the car, and then this is the other view from when I was in the car. Just really the coastline, some fence posts. And then we moved over to in relation to this drawing, I was sat about here, and that's where this view comes from. So yeah, sat there looking across. Really like this one because the rain started coming down, and I just love some of the effects it has with these pencils, which I've been using, which are the Darwin Inktense pencils. They're watercolour and they feel so nice. Like, they feel very smooth, maybe almost kind of crayon-like, like pastel. They're just very smooth, and I like the feeling, and I like how like intense you can get some of the lines, but at the same time how soft you can be otherwise. So highly recommend those pencils, they're very nice. And then I walked along from where I was sat, and I found a little bench, and I don't think these ones really have much to say. I quite like the signpost on this one. And then this is the other view from sat at that bench. And this is a sketch from standing like here. Yeah, just off the bay. Another really loose sketch. And this is the other location in Sandwich, so another bay, and it has these little cute houses. They're kind of like fishing village-esque, which I quite like, and so I did another little sketch here where I zoomed in on them. I really love how when you are outside and you kind of do this sort of process, a lot of the time you're working really quickly, so you are just like moving your hand about trying to get something down from what you're seeing, and I really like some of just these loose lines here. That's what we did, and now I'm gonna do some paintings inspired by them, I think. I actually really like how this house has come out. This I'm not so happy with, but I think I need to let it dry and then maybe like rework into it. But I've been working from this sketch. I really love the colours of that house. I recently watched a video by Sandy Hester and she's just painted a bunch of houses using those sort of greeny colours, like minty green colours, and I think it works so well. Thank you, Sandy, for the inspiration. This is a relevant painting, but it is still so light at 4 o'clock and it makes me so happy. I literally want to cry. I didn't think that like winter was having any effect on me really, but oh my goodness, I think I'm really excited for those later nights again, and I feel like in the last week I've just noticed how much lighter the skies are at like 4 o'clock. Actually, I think by today, I think the sun is meant to set by 5, which is amazing. Like 5, it's gonna be 5 p.m. and that's when the sun sets. To be honest, I think I've quite enjoyed winter. Not much to complain about, to be honest. But I'm excited to like come home from work and I could go on a walk and it's still gonna be light. Oh, I'm so excited. It is about 5 o'clock and I think I've been painting for about 2 hours. I've just done some really sketchy things, like they are no masterpieces. I do really like how this first sketch came out and this bit here. This bit, not such a fan, but I really like these colours. And then I moved on to doing this sketch, which is of the Hossack sketch. Quite like this, like I like a lot of the colours I'm using. I'm really digging these sort of muted colours with like that, but kind of like that greeny minty colour. I really like that. I should maybe develop some of these into oil paintings and work bigger. I think working bigger would be really fun, and so like all these houses do just become brush marks. Like I love that sort of loose way of painting, especially when the colour, you get the colours just right and it's loose but it fits. And layering up colours. Oh, so I think I need to like maybe transfer these into oil paintings. This one, the loosest one, probably the most messy. It was kind of focusing in more on this little house here from this sketch. I guess it's interesting doing this and working in this way, like developing from sketches, is you realise like where you need more information. So if I was going to develop this into like a painting of this scene, I think I need to go back and take some more notes, which I think that could be quite fun. But what was I going to say about this one? I like how this one is like blocks of colour, and I really want to explore like painting something like this, like painting houses but making it really simple, of just like getting those blocks of colour, just the right tone, the right hue. Am I really making any sense here? I just like looseness, and I do think I want to start kind of transferring some of these sketches into oil paintings. I feel like in general, like the way I'm working at the moment, first off, sorry, I'm going to chat now for a bit. I feel like I'm working across like quite a few different projects and ways of painting, but I don't feel like stressed or like upset about that in any way, whereas I think at other times in my practice, if I've been painting somewhat uncohesively, where I'm working on some things and they don't all feel like they fit together at times, I feel like I've gotten really stressed about that and have felt panicked that like, oh, why can't I stick to making one style? I feel like I've really lost that recently, and I think it's so good. Like, I think that's just diminished since leaving uni, because I just don't have that pressure. I don't feel that pressure, but it was always very much like self-induced, so like it's quite funny. That's taken until after uni to just be like, let's just paint and explore and just like learn, and I feel like my mindset towards making has become so much more just about learning and playing and allowing myself to do that, and it's honestly so fulfilling. It just feels like I am just in this like space of learning, and I'm very much still at the beginning of, I think, finding out, I guess, who I am as an artist, what I make, and I think more and more I'm just getting better at listening to, I think, just letting myself do whatever feels kind of right, and knowing that whatever I'm making, there'll be lessons that kind of transfer from these different projects. And I'm just so inspired by Shetland at the moment. Like, I guess that's one thing that I'm noticing since graduating uni, which was like May, June, and moving back home to Shetland. Like, someone started hoovering outside my room, so I'm going to try and say what I was saying. I think I was just mentioning how moving back home has really grounded my practice. It's like, I can't imagine really being inspired to make anything other than like paintings that are inspired by Shetland. And I think for a while at uni, I didn't live in Shetland when I was at uni. I lived on the mainland, and I guess that had like a influence on what I ended up painting and what I created. But I think now that I'm back at home living here, I just think there's so much that I want to explore through art. There's just so much, and I'm so excited. I really am just at this place in my practice that feels very free, very exciting, and I just don't feel like I'm constrained or stressed about it in any way, which I feel like for so long I was always worked up about being an artist and like what that means. And I think I always thought I had to hold myself to only making one sort of thing or having one cohesive style, but I think it's almost a bit naive to think that, because I very much am still at the start of this. And yeah, as I said, I feel like I'm just kind of finding that rhythm easier and not fighting against it as much as I have before. I hope some of this is making sense, but pretty much what I'm trying to say is just I'm very excited to make things at the moment, and I'm excited to just keep making art about Shetland. Like, it really is so funny, because I feel like I fought against this for so long. Like, I didn't want to just paint landscapes and blah blah blah, but there's so much about it I love, and I love painting, and it's about colour. And anyway, I'm just rambling and I need to end this video here. I hope you have enjoyed coming along and joining me on my little Sunday afternoon. It's now well into the evening, but yeah, I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you again next week. Goodbye.